Hello everyone, today we'll be using two references to create our own character and get it ready for animation. We'll use both Procreate for the sketch and Adobe Illustrator for the final piece. Okay, with that in mind, let's get started. Starting with the sketch, to come up with this character, I used two references, one for the style and one for the pose. The first reference is a digital piece of Blackpink's members in a beautiful style, which I'll be recreating in my own way today, whereas the second one is a still from a music video by BB. That one is the reference I'll be using for the pose. The tool I'm using in Procreate for the sketch is the Procreate pencil, which comes with the app itself. Alternatively, you can use Adobe Photoshop to draw the sketch or even just a sketchbook. As you can see, the sketch doesn't have to be exactly like the reference photo. In fact, the style requires shorter limbs and a bigger head, so I'm going more by feeling than anatomic accuracy to make it look as close as possible to the characters of Blackpink. Once the sketch is ready, I'll place it in Adobe Illustrator, where I adjust the opacity to make it a lot lighter so I can properly see the artwork I create on top. Using the rectangle and ellipse tools, I create an outline of each part of the character, her head, her arms, and her legs. The important part here is that each object must be separate. Her head must be separate from her neck, her arms from her hands, and so on. This ensures that later on in the process, our animator will have as much freedom as she needs when it comes to animating. As you can see here, most of the elements of this scene are perfect shapes with rounded edges, which is exactly the effect we want to achieve. Each element then has an outline in addition to a base color, and as you'll see in the process, I'll remove the outline only at her joints or places where it overlaps. Once I've created her clothing, I move on to change her hair. At this point, I'm sure her longer hair will have a much nicer swerve when she's animated and will create a more exaggerated effect. One crucial thing here is that this does not need to be exactly like the reference at all. In fact, the more you make it yours, the better. We're only taking inspiration from our references. And this is it! Our character is complete and ready for animation. Stay tuned for our next video where she will be fully animated.